from it. We'll go straight into this morning's competition. Class JR A4, boys vocal solo, 16 to 19 years old. There are 2 test pieces, one for high voice, The Rose of Tralee by Charles W. Glover, or for lower voice, Brother Will, Brother John by John Charles Sacco. Number 2, Joseph Thomas, who will sing The Rose of Tralee. Thank you, Joseph. Brother Will, Brother John.
Brother
Thank you, Marklan. Nico Sukri, competitor number 4, will also sing Brother Will, Brother John. Thank you, Nikosi. Aaron De Silva. Competitor number 8, Taron Frame, will sing the favorite for this morning, Brother Will, Brother John.
After you're gone, you can't
Thank you, Teron. Number 9, Devon de Berg. Joel Phillip, competitor number 10. Thank you, Joel. Keon Doman. Thank you, Kian. Antonio Simonet. Thank you, Antonio. A change of mood. Israel Felix, number 14, will sing Rose of Tralee.
Rising up above the green lawn.
Thank you, Israel. We go back to Brother Will, Brother John. Nikael Rennie, number 16. Thank you, Nikael. Savian De Young, number 17, will sing The Rose of Tralee. Thank you, Savian. Rose of Tralee. Thank you, Leonardo. Craig Sibu will sing Brother Will, Brother John.
Brother John.
Thank you, Craig. Number 20, Sanjeev Mahadeo. He will sing The Rose of Tralee also. Thank you, Sanjeev. Number 21, Christian Rambasad. Christian will sing Brother Will, Brother John. Thank you, Christian. Number 22, Matthew Howell Paul, will also sing Brother Will, Brother John. Thank you, Matthew. Competitor number 23, Kievan Kalist. Another Brother Will, Brother John. Thank you, Kievan. Now for our final competitor in this class, number 24, Kaleem Bokas, who will sing Rose of Tralee. Thank you, Kaleem, and thank you, Mr. Peter Lockhart and Mrs. Natalie Prasad Umrao for their beautiful playing this morning. Rings for Sony and Universal, and is a vocal soloist on EMI's Vocalese album, as used in trailers for Grey's Anatomy, ER, and Lost. She appears as a featured soloist on many film soundtracks, including In the Shadow of the Moon and Bobby Fischer Against the World. She has trained many performers in classical, pop, and rock singers, and runs an extensive private teaching practice in Buckinghamshire. She has students who are performing in companies throughout the UK, as well as West End shows such as Dreamgirls, Memphis, Rock of Ages, Chicago, Dirty Dancing, and High School Musical, and the hit TV series Downton Abbey. So ladies, listen carefully. She knows what she's telling us. And then the gentlemen who are seated in the hall, of course. It was wonderful this morning listening to young men who sing. Very special. And the young ladies backstage are looking at me as if to say, so what about us? So you will have a treat from the young ladies to follow. Let us thank the boys who entertained us this morning. A big round of applause for the boys. And for their teachers.
Boys, this was a wonderful class. I really did enjoy it. When I see set song classes in the programme, there's a part that thinks, goodness, how many times am I going to hear the same song? But what is wonderful about it is hearing each and every one of you come out and deliver your best performance. I really hope you've learnt from each other. Put you all together, and my goodness, you'd be flying. You know, there'd be no one better. But each person gave something to me that potentially the other one hadn't. Yes, of course, I need to hear your words, especially in a song like Brother Will, Brother John. There are a lot of words. Work out what speed you want to take it. This is a big part of this song. Don't feel that you really have to push the tempo, certainly at the beginning. It can just be a sort of comfortable pulse, because there's more to come. I was saying to the pianists, I think it was it the pianists? Maybe not. Anyway, any musician really, you have to find the trickiest bit. You have to find the hardest bit of your piece, the bit that probably is the fastest, the bit that has the semiquavers, the demi-semiquavers. Work out how fast you want to play them, and you actually realistically can play them / sing them. Work out how fast can I sing this little section, yet my words still be audible and clear. And from there, you go back to the beginning. So you gauge your pulse for the fast sections. Brother Will, Brother John, shake a leg here, shake a leg there. 1, 2. That's your tempo. Yeah? And yes, of course, there's ebb and flow within this. Some of you really played around with the timing, which I really liked. But ultimately, that's what determines your tempo. And don't push it faster than you can manage. Nerves also make you sing a little bit quicker. Everything just sort of heightens a little bit when you've got adrenaline in your bodies. So bear that in mind too. Okay, so yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this class. It was actually lovely hearing these songs sung so many times, so very differently. What am I looking for? Well, I've mentioned a few things. With a song like Brother Will, Brother John had some really good diction. And I could tell that it had been taught to you well, and it had been mentioned to you. So this was something that you had practiced as part and parcel of this song. Just beware, one or two of you are confusing the TH sound, the, in brother, there, with a V sound. And this is a really common occurrence. It's not brother, with, or there. It's brother. And the difference is that the tongue has to come between the teeth. Can you all just say for me, the? Did you stick your tongue between your teeth? Do it again. The. Sing, say, brother. I didn't see any tongues. Again. Yeah. There. No. There. Yes. With. Yeah. Okay. So at the speed that this piece goes at, you haven't got time to stick your tongue out and whatnot. However, it has to be there to a certain degree. It has to be there. Brother. Try. Are you saying brother, or are you saying brother? Yeah. There is a difference, and it stems from probably when you were very, very tiny. And if you look away, it's quite similar. Brother. But the TH, you have to work a little bit harder. If you're saying V instead of TH, it's a bit lazy. Okay? So, and I don't mind how you speak. That's fine. That's up to you. And you can still be understood, but I do mind how you sing. And this comes under the heading of diction and clarity and articulation. So that's why I need to mention it. A couple of times I've written on your report sheets about resonance. And when I say look for more resonance in your sound, I mean that the ring, to the natural ring that the voice has. So if you have a note, I don't like singing down the microphone, so I will move away. But if you have a note that is just a sound, it's a clear tone, but it's not going anywhere. It's quite a bland tone. And when I say a flat tone, I don't mean a flat and pitch. I just mean there's no interest to it. You need to find a natural ringing sound. Can you hear the difference? So I'm changing a little something. I'm doing a little something in order to create a difference in sound. Some of you are singing just with bland notes. Now, if your tuning is there, then I can't fault. You're not out of tune, but it's the quality of your sound that I'm talking about, the resonance within your tone that you need to find. And all of you are capable of this, but some of you showed it to me more than others today. So that's what I mean if I've written aim for more resonance on your report sheets. There were lovely moments in both pieces, Brother Will and the Rose of Tralee, where you showed rubato. Do you know what I mean by rubato? Literal meaning robbed time. You rob time. You take it from there, you give it to there. It just means that it's not continuously four-square timing. You make it your own depending on how you're feeling at that particular point, possibly the range in which you're singing, definitely what it is you're singing. That all determines ebb and flow and rubato within a piece of music. But those of you who really explored that, I really did appreciate it. So when it came to my marking, there were so many good performances here. And if you haven't been brought up as a prize winner, it doesn't mean that you really didn't do very, very well. It means that I latched on to a breath that you didn't quite manage, and that lost you a mark. It means that just that one note was slightly underpitched, and you lost that one mark. But there were so many young performers here today. You're a lovely group of singers. You should form a choir. It would be wonderful. Anyway, so I will go through. I wanted to just mention three who aren't in the third, second, first placings, but I do think they deserve a mention, and these are sort of highly commended marks. These three young singers all have 87 marks, so you can see how high the marks are in this class. And they are, is it Nkosi? Is that how you say your name? Nkosi, lovely. Okay, you are one of these commended singers, Kevin and Matthew, number 22. So they are all commended with 87 marks. Two third places today with 88 marks are number 18, Leonardo, with his Rose of Tralee, and number 21, Christian. Leonardo, the opening phrase was very well managed in one breath. This is the tricky thing about the Rose of Tralee, is the breathing. And he made a good job of it. You have to ideally breathe once every 4 bars. And it's fine. Your first phrase, it's okay, it's easy. You've just started, you're all fresh. But at the time you get to your 4th phrase, it's much, much harder to take it through. So you did well. Had an attractive stillness, I felt, to your singing, and a good legato quality. Just explore those dynamics even more, but there was real poise to this singing. And Christian, your voice has this rich, sonorous quality, lots of lovely resonance in this sound. A clear and accurate account, words were well articulated. I just felt you held back a bit with the performance. I just felt that you were a little bit laid back, you know, which is fine for a certain type and style of song, but this one I think you could have given even more. But anyway, lots of lovely things there. And with 89 marks in second place, again two are number 6, Aaron De Silva. Dean Craig Sibu. Aaron is an engaging performer. He has a lovely animated face when he sings. He was really, really telling us everything. I really enjoyed his changes in dynamics, especially the effective, where he started a note quietly and then it grew and it went somewhere, especially the final note was super. Yes, on the whole, words were clear and it was well matched to your facial expression. Yes. And then Craig, he is a natural performer, very comfortable on this stage. Lovely tuning, and he took it at a really good pace. His accompanist began and I saw him just slow the accompanist down a bit. That's such a skillful, brave, professional thing to do, because youngsters normally just go with it, and of course that's not helpful to them. So really, really well done. Your interest was maintained, and all of your words, I could hear all of your words because of that speed that you chose. Bravo. And then the winner of this class with 90 marks is Teron. What an entertaining performance this was. He has a wonderful way of being in command. He was absolutely comfortable. He knew exactly how he wanted to deliver this. The pianist followed his very, very clear leads, and it was lovely, impressive singing with a great vocal quality. Bravo.
To 19 years old. Again, we have a choice of pieces for high voice. We have Orpheus with his lute by Arthur Sullivan, or low voice, Help Me to Pray, by F. Paolo Tosti. We begin with Selena Espinoza, who will sing Help Me to Pray, competitor number 1. Thank you, Selena. 2, Sydney Mohan will sing Orpheus with his lute.
With his
Thank you, Sydney. Competitor number 3, Emma Raman will sing Help Me to Pray. Thank you, Emma. I'd like to point out that we had preliminaries for this class because we had 26 girls, and the girls that you're seeing this morning were selected for the finals. Ruel McIntosh, she will sing Help Me to Pray. Thank you, Ruel. Number 9 will sing Help Me to Pray. Thank you, Leandra. Orpheus, with his lute, is a song of choice for Carissa Benjamin, number 11. Thank you, Carissa. Number 12, Patrice Richardson will sing Orpheus with his lute. Thank you, Patrice. Katie Digans, number 17, will sing Help Me to Pray.
And you did not
you, Katie. Competitor number 20, Ariana Rodasling, will sing Orpheus with his lute. Thank you, Ariana. Number 21 will also sing Orpheus with his lute. Thank you, Chelsea. Number 22, Jacinta Sandiford, Help Me to Pray. Thank you, Jacinta. Competitor number 23, Ariel Deonanan will sing Orpheus with his lute.
Trees
Thank you, Ariel. Competitor in this class, Amaya Thompson. She will also sing Orpheus with his lute. Thank you, Amaya. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the performers this morning. Let's give them a big round of applause. And to their teachers who spent many additional hours teaching them. After school, lunchtime, weekends, going beyond the call of duty. Thank you to the parents who have supported. Thanks to the bowl staff. Thank you to Mrs. Bernadette Roberts, who played so beautifully for the girls. And all the volunteers who have assisted us this morning. Look out on our page and our Music Festival South Facebook page. There are lots and lots of pictures and some videos as well. Welcome to our adjudicator.
So 2 lovely pieces here, ladies, for you to choose from. And each had their own challenges and difficulties, and then areas where you could really, really shine. As far as Help Me to Pray, you need to create a really still mood, a feeling whereby one is in that zone of praying, whereas Orpheus and his lute is fairly contrasting to that. There's a bounce to it, there's an energy, and there's obviously you've got the higher range going on, but that was your choice to make, dependent on your voice type. So we had the high and we had the low. One area that I do want to mention is posture. Posture is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to learn to stand accurately because it has a huge bearing on the voice and how the voice carries and how the voice is supported. When you're singing this style of song, and by this style of song I'm talking the classical repertoire, classical singing, the ideal is really not to use your hands at all. So if you find that your hands are gesturing, doing things, you have to ask yourself, well, what are they doing? Are they just doing this? Because this doesn't mean anything. This then very quickly becomes detracting. It detracts from you, and especially if you're trying to be still and calm. But equally, if you're singing something like Orpheus, it doesn't mean anything. Any gesture that you do has to relate to the text, but also means something. So even with the young ones yesterday, they had sweet little pieces that called for a little bit of hand gesturing, and some of them did it ever so well. There was just a line where they're saying sort of, where is the shoe? In the bedroom or in the cupboard on the wall. So some of them were counting on their fingers, and that's perfectly allowed. Some of them just had been told, point to the cupboard on the wall. So they were just the cupboard on the wall. But that doesn't mean anything. You know, you have to, if you're going to gesture, you have to see it there. There it is. That one there. I'm showing you. Ah, someone even turned their head. Hey, that's what you need to do. You as the singer need to be seeing these things. Neither of these songs required that. So the ideal is for you to stand with your hands by your side. Now, this isn't a natural position, really. When do you ever stand with your hands by your side for at least 2.5 minutes? I can't think of a single time other than when I sing, when I do that. They are, these hands, forever busy, forever doing something, holding something, fidgeting with something, folded, whatever. As a singer, you need to learn that this position is your comfort zone position. And it isn't, although very easy, very simple to do, it's not particularly natural for us to stand simply with hands hanging. I'd actually all like you to stand for 2 seconds. We're just going to do a posture exercise. So you're going to have to turn sideways to face me. That's it, okay. So I'd like you all just to raise your hands. So knees shouldn't be locked. And certainly you shouldn't be sitting in your hips either. You should have one ankle to the other. Feet roughly shoulder width apart. Can you all manage that where you are? And I want you to just raise your hands. Just raise your hands, yeah? That's it. And the most important thing is that you put your head up, slightly up. No clunked back necks, just straight as you can, but eyes up. We have a wonderful auditorium here, so the expensive seats. So, keep that head up, eyes up, eyes up. That's it, head up. Now, we're going to turn the palms so they face downwards, and we keep that head up, and you gently lower your hands to your shoulders. Now, have you stopped breathing? Keep breathing. Keep breathing, keep that head up, and let the hands gently, gently lower down to your side. Keep the head up. Keep the head up and keep breathing. Are your knees locked? Keep them loose. And now, simply bring the head down to a comfortable position. How does that feel? Different to normal? Just normal? Or comfortable? Yeah, anyone feeling uncomfortable? Let's just put you in a very, very open, happy place, I hope. That's a really good little posture exercise. Obviously you can't do it when you come out on stage, but the feeling is there. This is open, this is loose, this is heading out. One of you was determined to look down today, so try and avoid that. Because then your sand goes down, you lose your eye contact. But lovely, thank you girls, turn around. So, once you arrive in that position, the difficulty is staying there. The difficulty is not to raise a hand as soon as you start singing. One of you was very much conducting every note that you sang. And then halfway down, I don't know if you realised, halfway through, but you put it down, and then it came up again for the ending. But, you know, all of these are things that you learn as you go along the way. We had Orpheus with his lute. I say lute. I've not heard it pronounced lute before. Lute. It's a lute. The instrument, that's how I know it to be. Orpheus with his lute, yes? Okay, fine. But I didn't really take marks off for that. That was sort of neither here nor there. But it was just unusual to hear it said so. And it's much harder to sing lute than lute. Okay, all right, one of my things. So in third place today is, let me just have a look, things, and I hadn't even noticed this. As I hear you, I write a mark. And that's how I do it. So you're being marked as we go along. I can't possibly wait to the end and then work out what I'm going to give everybody. So you're marked as you go along. As it happens, all placings sang Orpheus with his lute, but I've just only realised that. So it's neither here nor there. It's just that's what's happened as far as the markings go. In third place is Chelsea Merrick with 87 marks. Good delivery of words, voice is working well, and the range was well managed. Not all of the breathing was in place, but there was this beautiful crescendo on the word everything. Beautiful. And the ending was so exquisite. She had this stunning piano sound. You lost your tuning. You lost your tuning on the way. You've got to work on that little chromatic figure. But I was so enjoying it up till that point. Well, I mean, you know, there we go. That's hence the placement. So in second place is Sydney. Lovely entry, beautiful, ringing, bell-like, top F this came in. Her voice is projecting well and the tuning is accurate. I did write about lute on yours because yours was the first that I heard and then I stopped writing it. Lovely final phrase too. And the winner of this class is Ariana Rodaslam. Beautiful legato fluidity to this voice. What really shone out was her control of breathing. She took these phrases through. She'd looked at the text, and sometimes composers, they're very helpful to us, and they write beautiful phrases as determined by the text. This writer here doesn't necessarily. So there are times where the phrase might end, but it doesn't make sense to necessarily stop. I can't fault those that did take a breath because the phrase has ended, but this young lady really worked hard to carry things through, and she made real sense of her text. Again, lovely crescendos on this everything word, excellent tuning and impressive final phrase. 89 marks.
I would like to thank the Bowl staff for all of their assistance during the course of this festival. They really have come up trumps for us. We thank our sponsors, and we are still looking for sponsors, so we're quite happy to have help. We thank the press. We've had many photographers here, and of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that the pictures are published, but they are trying their best to get us on the front page of their various newspapers. But look at our Facebook group, Music Festival South, because TNT Events Photography has been here quite regularly, and we have a lot of pictures for you to have a look at. And of course, our special thanks to our adjudicator. Our final class this morning is JRC 8. Primary school folk song choirs, over 20 singers. It's an own choice piece, and we have only one competitor in this class, St. Paul's Boys Anglican School Choir. Let's give them a welcome as they come onto stage. They are going to perform for us, I'm a Dandy. You see how smartly dressed they are. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin, their teacher, and Mrs. Roberts for playing.
boys, I so enjoyed this. You look fantastic, fantastic. You came out on stage, and I don't know, I hope there are some parents here who are here to support. You must be so proud to see them. Have they ever looked this smart before? So dapper, that's a jolly English word. Dapper is what you looked like. I thought the coloured shirts really, really blend so well together, and these ties make you just look very smart. I've written, it was such an enjoyable performance, so much so I literally just sat back. I sat back and I listened from beginning to end. I did not pick up my pen. I didn't want to miss any of it. So I waited till you finished, and I don't normally do that because there isn't time to, but I just thought, do you know what, I am today. I want to just watch everything. I don't want to miss anything. You look so smart. I like the colour shirts. Clearly you enjoyed singing this for us today. There was a great rhythmic vitality to your singing, and lots of faces, really engaged faces. You were engaged with what you were singing, you were engaged looking at your director, you were engaged with the movements that you were doing. Yes, you were happy to tell us the story of this dandy dude. Lovely solo singing. Bravo to the soloist and to the drummer. Very, very good on your part. Very good. A most entertaining account. Well done, boys. You get 87 marks.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so very much for spending the morning with us. It was a wonderful morning filled with music. And please tell family and friends, get on the phone, get on Facebook, WhatsApp, and all of the other ways of contacting people, and get us an audience, please. So much good music is happening in Naparima Bowl, and so few people here to appreciate it. Primary or secondary school choirs, tassa drumming, piano solo, steel pan solo, and tonight there's no session.